All right, hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone, of whom I learn from daily. All right, healthy shalom to the 144,000 mighty men, the would-be judges on the earth as it is in heaven, as the scripture said. Also, to the speckled bird, okay? It's going to come looking like every other nation out there simply because the Hebrew Israelites were scattered to the four winds of the earth. And it says that in many different scriptures, all right? One that comes, quickly comes to my mind is James 1 and verse 1. To the 12 tribes that are scattered abroad, greeting. So I don't know what the hell these two Genesis dudes are talking about. Anyway, that's a whole nother subject, man, which is, that's actually a major subject because that's causing great confusion, but that's not what this is going into. So I saw a video, I think it was yesterday. It may have been the day before. Hey, time's flying. You already know what it is. All right. Of, ice, those ice, vanilla ice baby, right? Being, deployed. Is that deployed? Okay, I said deplored. Salakia. In Charlotte, right here it says Western North Carolina. Now, it says as Border Patrol agents conduct raids in Charlotte area, social media spreads misinformation about immigration operations in Western North Carolina, and that's bullshit. And I'm gonna tell you, maybe I can even show you why. I'm trying to find there's a video clip, and this is right here is what you have in front of you. That's where I live. That's Boone. You know, that's a hell. It looks like King Street, which is one of the main streets. Okay, I wish I knew what this said. Slovakia. Let's see if I can. No, I can't really. Maybe if I take a photo of it, we'll see what this says. All right, let's go here. There we go. Let's copy that. Give me one moment. Let me go to translation and see if I can see what this says. Matter of fact, let me get it all.
Tonight, officials in Charlotte, North Carolina are urging calm amid the latest immigration crackdown. CBS's Chanel Call reports on the details of the Homeland Security's department, what they're calling Operation Charlotte's Web. Chanel.
And Eureka, Homeland Security officials say about 100 people were arrested on Saturday in Charlotte by Border Patrol and ICE. That city's Democratic mayor says this is causing unnecessary uncertainty and fear.
This cell phone video captured the moment U.S. Border Patrol smashed Willie Aceituno's car window because he wouldn't open his door. Aceituno is a Honduran-born American citizen and was injured during his arrest. This is the second time in 10 minutes I was stopped, he says. He showed them identification and they left.
Brandy, they're in our yard.
Just blocks away, a resident spotted agents moving in on her landscaping crew as they were putting up Christmas lights. No arrests were made. Commander Gregory Bavino is leading the crackdown after spearheading Border Patrol efforts in Chicago and Los Angeles. In a social media post, he said many of those arrested had criminal and immigration histories. In total nationwide, the Department of Homeland Security says more than 500,000 people have been arrested and deported during these operations. The federal agency says its intent is to ensure Americans are safe and remove threats. Today was the second day of protests over the immigration crackdown in Charlotte.
It's terrifying to pretty much know that at any moment a federal agent can just come out and abuse you just because of the way you look.
Charlotte is now the 5th U.S. city to see a Border Patrol presence. Next, the agency says it will move 200 agents to New Orleans. Eureka?
Chanel Call reporting from New York.
Black 101 here.
Okay, so here we go. Let's see what this says. Okay, so in Spanish, so-called Spanish, here in English it says solitary. The workers fight. It has no border. All right. So that's what that says. I found that to be interesting. All right, the workers fight. They have no border. Now, if you don't know anything about this Western North Carolina, where we at, okay, it's a lot of Edomites here. All right, and there's also a lot of Northern Kingdom here. More and more each day, you're starting to see them. In some of these programs that were, hopefully this is edifying. I'm rambling a bit. We'll get to a couple scriptures. But some of these programs that, were for the public schools and, Salakia, even the, I don't know how to explain it. Like, like auto tech or some of the arts programs have been cut because a lot of these people around here are left wing. Well, I mean, it's basically 50-50, just like the rest of the country. All right, the so-called left wing liberals that are not with ICE raids and all that shit. Now, come to find out, ICE, Salaki, I'm a little busy right now. Shouldn't be. All right, need to focus. But ICE is definitely here in Boone. It's headed to Raleigh. Some of these, small. Well, Raleigh and Charlotte. Charlotte's a huge city. Matter of fact, they call it the Queen City. Okay, if you know what Queen means, you know what it means. But anyway, this is bullshit because it says it spreads misinformation about immigration operations in Western North Carolina. But I really want to show you this video. You see, over the weekend, there were reports of U.S. Border Patrol and immigration and customs enforcement agents in Western North Carolina, which is right here where I'm at, Slovakia. All right. Agents began operations in Charlotte a few hours away, right, from the region, causing concerns for community members, immigration. Right. It's causing great concern, man. Hey, I don't know. Maybe even my neighbors, man, they ain't acting right today. My little girl, she got a Northern Kingdom, friend from school or whatnot. Matter of fact, he used to be one of our neighbors, and his family up and left him, man. This is sick, Jake. This is sick, man. But as I was speaking to a brother, earlier this week, Northern Kingdom got to go through it. They have got to go through it simply because they have been spoon-fed that they are in the in crowd. You know how George Carlin said, what he say? He said there's a whole club, a millionaires club or whatever club, he said, and you ain't in it. So now everybody's in there fuck around and find out moments. Northern Kingdom's getting that ninja card pulled on them. Okay? And we passionate, and I feel bad for them, but they got to go through it, man. Simply because, they basically have joined themselves with Esau, Edom. Let's read this. Revelation 12 in verse, I may want to go back to 10. Verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power, Hamashiach Yahweh. Salakia, Yahweh, okay? And the power of his Hamashiach, for the accuser of the brethren, his anointed, right? For the accuser of the brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. Did you hear that? Day and night. And whenever Esau Edom is accusing us of doing something, it's all projection. That's all it is. And his true colors are coming out. The prophets have been telling you this, giving a warning to men and women alike, right? That this devil he's not for our turn. He's not for our side. And it's always been that way. Your Isaiah 4 and verse 1 is getting ready to happen. Jacob's swing, Jacob's trouble. He's going to come in like a flood. He knows he has but a short time, as it reads right here in verse 12. It's been more than just allegations of him putting Northern Kingdom, and it's trickling down to Southern Kingdom too. Don't get it twisted. Put him on cargo planes and basically, throwing them off in the middle of the ocean, man. Okay? And, of course, you ain't never going to see that on the news because the JEUUs are, they already own all that shit. They control the narrative. Verse 11 reads, and they overcome him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and to the sea, for the devil is come down upon you. Who's the devil? Esau Edom. See? having what great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time. And this is all in the midst of the bullshit ass Epstein files, which is, hey man, that's a whole nother thing, man. Esau Edom showing you, when somebody tells you who the hell they are, why don't you listen? You see? Yeah, I remember all kinds of shit from my childhood, all kinds of shit. There's a little side-handed shit the Edomites say, post and shit that they be putting up. You know? And here it is. Northern Kingdom done left a 14-year-old and skedaddled to Wilkesboro, which is, a county next to this county, and left him alone by himself. You see, when the shit really starts to get worse, man, it's people like that's gonna take that seat here. Yeah, I mean, I found that to be some bullshit. The scripture said it though, man. The families are gonna turn on each other, all that shit, man. Salakia, it really pissed me off when I heard about that. Okay? And here's part of the problem. What does it say right here? White, well, ain't nobody damn white for shit. White, Hispanic, and Latino Americans. Listen to this. Nothing more than proverbs and bywords, and a way to classify Northern Kingdom and keep their asses asleep. If history don't teach you, diversity will. There it is. Here it is. Let's read this. White, Hispanic, Latino Americans, also called Euro Hispanics. Like, what the hell is that? That should let you know. Hell, that's sort of the same thing. That's two different fucking continents. By the way, that European shit, that ain't nothing but Western Asia anyway. That's the same way of saying African American. Euro Hispanics. What the hell is that? Anyhow, Euro Latinos, white Hispanics, or white Latinos, and that's the problem. They've been gaslit into thinking they part of the club. And that's why a lot of them was, dancing and voting for Nero when his ass been despise you. Read the book of Ezekiel, the 35th chapter. All these Edomites do that. Posting up shit like I hope they get them all, and little backhanded, Trump, he's not doing a very good job. At least he's getting the Mexicans out. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Even our own people, to be as simple, Salakia, it's a little bit of a rant here, but to be as simple as to say all so-called black people or Israelites and nobody else, man, that's just, it boggles the mind, man. You can't understand the simple concept of where your seed comes from. It's anyway, man. That shit is crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, or white Latinos or Americans who identify, right, as white people of European descent with roots in Spain or Latin America. Interesting, right? Spain or what? Or Latin America. So all them censuses and shit, hey, that was one lesson I did, I guess it was a couple weeks ago, and it showed that, so-called Hispanics can identify with either white or Hispanic. Either one tickles their fancy that day. Huh? This is why Esau Edom, he's got you by the balls, man. You need to grow up. Deuteronomy 28, verse 7. Part of curses. All right? The Lord Yahweh shall cause thine enemies to rise up against thee, to be smitten before thy face. All right? They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. Okay? And I really wanted to show you some of that. As a matter of fact, I'll put a quick clip before. You can look it up yourself. About the ICE in Charlotte and Raleigh and some of those bigger areas. It's coming down to these places, these little small places like Boone and what they call it, West Jefferson. All right. I was over there the other day, doing some tag stuff, Esau Edom's unrighteous decrees, trying to get a legal some shit I already bought, right? Usury, whatever. Okay. but trying to do my business. And hey man, there's so many Northern Kingdom over there, and they was happy as a as the country people say, as a pig in a poke. See, they was happy like pig in pig slop, thinking that they're gonna be all right. But what they're not seeing and not understanding is, you think Esau Edom is gonna have you with all these taco trucks and lawn cutting businesses and construction businesses? You think he wants to see you prosper? Matter of fact, the scripture said thou shalt not prosper. It's right here in Deuteronomy 28th chapter. No, he gonna come in and he gonna take your shit like he always did. Okay? You gotta remember our history. A lot of people don't understand that we are brothers and sisters. The scripture said Israel and Jerusalem shall be so go into captivity together. But see, that's the problem. You don't read, and you'd rather classify yourself as a damn devil. See if you can, go along to get along, and look at what's going on. Take heed, Jake. Revelation 2 and verse 10. Fear none of these things, but thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And that's that. If you don't understand it, you don't understand it. If you don't have the eye salve, you don't have the eye salve. But this is a warning, and I don't give a shit if I sound like a broken record. It's a warning to Southern Kingdom, all Israelites out there. We already understand 2/3 ain't gonna make it anyway, because they already in gross darkness. It's a warning. Hopefully this lesson was edifying, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai.